Hi, everyone. This is Caroline, and welcome back to the channel. And we're doing more energy work today. And this is a series of energy work videos designed to help people in a more general way. So I asked my community, please send in questions that a lot of people could benefit from in terms of the energy work and the answers from the collective. So I'll bring them in, and we're looking at some very big questions, two big questions today. And these are just indicative of the time that we're in. Very, very powerful energies flowing to the earth right now. A lot of higher light integration, a lot of releasing of the old, the third dimensional life density, and accepting. I want to say, sort of accepting new data in the sense of new higher knowledge into every cell of the body, every particle of our spirit and our consciousness. This isn't just a moment to say, well, yeah, I'm on the ascension path and everything's wonderful now. We're literally rinsing the density and the duality and the toughness, the struggle, the trauma, the old pain, not only out of our bodies, but out of humanity and out of what's been going on in our planet for millions of years. That's a huge job. If you feel exhausted right now, don't be surprised. And this light is just astounding, absolutely astounding. So the White Knights, the Ashtar Command, again, I'm always saying this, but they have assured us that the light pouring in right now with the solar flares are bigger than X class, and X class is the largest flares that scientists are familiar with. So those are huge solar flares. The EMF is going to have a huge impact on us if you feel exhausted, cloudy headed, maybe headachy or dizzy, unsure of what's going on sometimes, if time seems to be racing past, going kind of slowly or very, very quickly, don't be surprised because it really is the whole nature of time is changing. So I'll bring in the collective. We can just go into our breathing for a moment, breathing in through the nose with mouth closed. Maybe to a count of 7 or 8. And when you're ready, breathing out as if you were whistling, breathing out through a small straw, breathing out any density, any shadow, any struggle, and breathing in the kind of light that is pure love. And it's just filling you with all the supports that you have been telling your angelic friends you really require right now. Wonderful. I'll bring them in. Oh, greetings. Greetings, friends. We are very pleased, as always, to have this time to speak with you today. And so, several interesting questions for today. The still one is asking, will this coup of the government continue and remain, including slashing funding for housing, food, social security, or is it just a threat? As in shock and awe, that military tactic? Now, that's a brilliant question. And this, of course, refers to the US, but it could refer to other countries as well. And it refers also to the general state of the world because there are these extremes happening now. There is a beautiful sense of well being, peacefulness, joy for some. And then a sense of being rattled straight down to the ground for others. Maybe their house is burnt down, or maybe they've experienced a terrible storm, or they're seeing all these changes to government, and they're wondering what will become of me or my family if this very important help, such as food stamps, EBT, or support for children, Head Start, etc., and Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid, what if all that is taken away? And this can be very, very challenging indeed, very frightening. Now we're going to bring in this beautiful teams, the beautiful spirit teams of everyone, and the higher self, angelic guardians, spirit guides, namaste, dear ones. And they know who's watching at any time, any given time. And we're going to ask, so your team are here, no worries. And we're going to ask them for their input on this. Yeah, okay. Yes, indeed. Nothing unusual. The subconscious for most people right now, dear ones, the subconscious is fighting like mad what's going on and saying this can't happen. And I'm going to start panicking, or I'm going to feel that I've been betrayed by my own country, or I'm going to feel very abandoned or vilified for speaking up. And that's because in the past, in 3D life, all of that might have felt very true. And in terms of physical life, it was true. A lot of people would get left behind if government programs were slashed, if certain people were vilified and therefore deported or put into camps, if certain people were considered to be non-entities, non-citizens. We don't have to think about you or care about you, etc. So we'll take away what little security you have. And all of these past life memories are coming up with all of that. And this is some of the heaviest situations, some of the heaviest experience that humanity has been through. That and any form of enslavement, any form of losing oneself by feeling I'm entrained, I'm programmed, I'm not who I'm meant to be. And of course, the conscious mind doesn't always register that, but the heart knows it's true. And so all of these old memories are coming up. And we would say, yes, indeed, it's a shock and awe tactic, absolutely, to keep people frozen in panic. And in that frozen state, you may not have the strength or the wherewithal to phone up a senator or representative of the House, or to demonstrate or write emails or letters or what have you. And of course, they have miscalculated, because all of you are not as people were 100 or 80 years ago. You're not just going to sort of be okay with a lot of what is happening. Now, we realize there are many who support this particular government in the US, this particular administration. If that is your path, dear ones, we have complete respect for that. And we ask that all of you respect one another's path, not only because it's the good and positive thing to do, but because there'll be a lot less angst, a lot less feeling of frustration and upset as a result. And more feeling of I'm just going to support and love other people no matter what. And then you're out of that duality. You're out of that bizarre game that says, let's pitch group A against group B. And as they're fighting one another and hating one another, they don't have time to even notice what's going on, or they don't have any energy. They don't have the impetus to look into what we're doing. And this is what the old crowd is thinking. And they're very much mistaken, because people are ringing the phones off the hook in Washington, D.C. and in other parts of the world and saying, we will not stand for this. And so you're all gaining a voice that you didn't know you had in many cases. Now, some have been activists for many years. And it doesn't surprise you at all to get out there and demonstrate, or to write emails or make phone calls, etc. And that's completely wonderful, dear ones. But meanwhile, all of this light pouring in is by far the biggest story. And our writer was talking about the solar flares at the beginning of the video, and how there are so many changes now, and so many people feeling the stress of all of this light pouring in, and feeling the renewal, feeling what am I supposed to do if I'm kind of fuzzy-headed, or I'm exhausted all the time, or I just don't feel to be myself. And we would say that's not going to last, dear ones. It's not going to last forever. And you are still yourself, but you're coming into your higher self vibration. You're coming into a frequency that resonates with the person you decided to be before you incarnated. So you're entering a new phase. It feels a bit odd. It feels very awkward at times, and certainly it feels exhausting at times, but you don't have to fall for any of the old world tactics. These are old third dimensional tactics, and you'll hear the rainbowroundtable.net people, the white knights of the Ashtar Command, saying they're trying to hold the third dimensional timeline in place. It won't work. The fifth dimensional timeline is here. And you're already, all of you, moving up so beautifully. So there's no sense in panicking that all of human rights and capabilities, or latitude, the movement, agency, choice, sustenance, support, that's just going downhill. We see such tremendous community supports occurring now in Southern California since the fires. And even if all of these programs are taken away, human beings, society, communities, and individuals small groups, large groups, will take up the slack, will take up this gap. And they'll say, we'll make sure that there's community food, there's communal food provision and food banks for and anybody who needs it. We'll make sure there's childcare. We'll make sure that there's a Head Start type program. We'll make sure that our elders are not left behind. This is a beautiful moment, dear ones. You are grasping who you are as sovereign beings. You are claiming your sovereignty. To not depend anymore on anybody else is a very great moment. And it's not what anybody making these budgetary slashes would expect. They think people are just going to fall apart. Certainly, everybody has the freedom to do that if you prefer, but we would say you don't need to. You can look out for one another. We would also say that this regime that this one is talking about in the US will not last as long as they think it will, as they themselves believe will happen. And so just be aware that much is changing very, very quickly. In this, we want to say this node, this chaotic node that you're in, this void, it can appear at times as if there isn't enough support for what you've already always known. And therefore, a lot's going to fall apart and there's nothing to move into its place. It's as if, you've seen visually in a video or a film where the image is kind of shimmering. It's shifting and changing. And we would say you're in that moment where everything is shifting and changing. But as that image stills and calms itself, what's happened is that you've moved to a higher vibrational form of living. And that higher frequency will not let you down. And understand that you are all anchoring it. It's not by accident that it's happening. So another dear one has asked, considering the state of our world right now, can you give humanity some assurance all will eventually be okay? Now, we've been flowing energies to you throughout this, dear ones, but we want you right now, bring all that what ifs, all the what ifs, all the fear, all the upset, the panic, the anger, feelings of loss. What if this crowd or that are vilified and treated as people were in Europe in World War II? Put all that in this beautiful circle of light right now. Just bring that. If you can't image, just make a circle with your hands. And then breathe out all that heaviness, put that heavy sack of pain, trauma, upset. You've got a lot of past life memories of things falling apart, similar to how it looks now, except that the light was not pouring in, these sentient light particles pouring in and forming every cell. You were a god or goddess in and of yourself. Yeah, that wasn't coming in, and now it is. Wonderful. In this era, everything is different. Put all that heaviness you've been carrying, literally pull that sack off of your shoulder and put it in that circle of light. Wonderful. Bringing in the violet fire of Saint Germain. Transmutes perfectly. It doesn't burn. It's a cool flame, but it does transmute all of this heaviness into pure sparkling energy. It just reverts to raw energy. That's it. It'll be used for something good. That's right. Wonderful. Everybody, calling on everybody sitting in your subconscious, all those other lives you've lived, all of those other experiences you had, the trauma, all those feelings you've felt over the centuries, over thousands of years, the shock. Will this army invade? Will my country do this or that? Will my clan or my village be wiped out? Just bring all those memories. You don't have to consciously know what they are. Again, pull that heavy sack off of your shoulder. Put it in that circle of light. Very good. That's it. All that heaviness, all that sadness, the child self being unsure, frightened. The people around me are scared. What am I supposed to do? That's it. All of it goes into that beautiful circle of light, the violet fire, transmuting all of it into beautiful sparkling light. It's going to be used for something wonderful. Now, there are beautiful angels here. All of your guardian angels are present, but in addition to that, a whole legion of angels have just arrived, and they're just blessing everyone. They're touching you very lightly in that third eye chakra, the crown chakra, front and back of the heart chakra. That's right. If you don't want them to touch you, that's all right. They'll know just to pass a hand there. Wonderful. Just accepting a beautiful silvery and golden light of Divine Mother, Father, God, Goddess, down through the crown chakra. And what they're also doing is pulling out a lot of upset, a lot of old trauma, and throwing it into that beautiful violet fire. If you want to work with the white flame of the Divine Feminine also, wonderful. We'll bring that into this circle. That's it, all going into that violet fire. Breathe out. Just say, I'm done with suffering. I'm done with struggle. From now on, I'm going to learn and joy. I'm going to gain and move forward on my path in joy. I'm not going to depend on outer circumstances to make sure that I feel okay. I'm not going to depend on what a government says or a religion says or my ethnicity or my town or my country or what. I'm not going to rely on any of that. Family, social levels. No, I'm just a beautiful light being in human form. Just keep saying that. And we light beings tend not to stress. Wonderful. We're just chuckling at that because our writer is sort of laughing. Yeah. Wonderful. Holding everybody in light. Stay in this beautiful circle of light as long as you wish. Wonderful. We send much love and we'll bring our writer back now. Namaste. Thank you so much, everyone. Really lovely work from the collective, and their work goes out to everybody, you know, not just those who happen to be watching this video, but they're extending it to everybody who might need a bit of a lift right now. We just send so much love. They do and I do. And we'll continue with these energy work videos. I have got a new book coming out, The Spirit of the Dragon Tribes, and I will be saying more about that quite soon, but that's coming out. The pre-order starting February 23rd and releasing on Amazon February 28th, 2025. So I hope you'll have a look at that, but please also like and subscribe. And, you know, this work is for everybody and it's here to encourage you. So we send so much love and many blessings. Namaste.